To get started on our stop frame animation, we'll begin with Photoshop. Once it's open, go to Create New. And while these things look like they're useful and helpful, they're really not for us right now. What's most important is to come over here to the right-hand side of the screen. I will want us switching the unit of measurement to pixels, change the width to 1280, the height to 720 pixels, and the orientation should be wider over tall. Resolution, I'll keep that at 300 pixels. No, actually that's too high. Resolution can go to 150 pixels per inch, and when I click Create, we've got a rectangle that is wider than it is tall, and that is essentially matching the layout of our screen. Depending on your story, you will need your own particular elements. For mine, I am going to say that I need a car. I did a very specific search because I wanted a view of a car in profile. Keep that in mind as you're doing searches. You can also be taking photographs or purely drawing your elements. So that took me to here. I took a screenshot of this and I saved it to a folder called Stop Frame. And what I can do here very easily is just drag and drop the icon of the file into the project. I'll scale it down slightly. These handles allow me to change proportionally the size of the object. It is keeping it proportional, so you can grab any one of these points. But right now it's just about putting the object into the document. If it's too big for right now, it's okay. I can always change it. So I will just assume for right now this is a good size. I hit return and things look great, but here's something to keep in mind. If I turn off the background here, we actually have a white background behind this vehicle. A lot of stock images will have issues like that. There are things you can do, like use the magic wand tool. Since this is a large white area on a stock image, I could use that to delete this. And then go through, oops, I forgot an important step here. I'm glad I did this. I can't get rid of that background because this object is a smart object. That's what this little symbol here means on the layer. It won't allow me to alter this item within the document. We can change that by going to Layer, Smart Objects, because that's what it is right now, and I want to rasterize it. I want to make it editable pixels. So now when I click on it with the magic wand tool and I hit delete, you can see there are some things that weren't perfectly white that it didn't grab that I'd have to do a little bit more work to do. Another option might be to use something like the magnetic lasso tool, that if I start to click and drag around this vehicle, it can do a pretty good job of detecting the boundaries. And that again, when I am finished, it will give me the car. I have options to either add or subtract from a selection. Command plus, I'll zoom in. I will add to my selection to grab this part of the shadow that it didn't have initially. Come all the way around and close that selection out. And then I'll try to save some time too and actually subtract this white space between the vehicle and its shadow. I do have other videos on selection tools, so I think these two as an option will be sufficient for now. Right now what is selected is the car. What I want to delete is the background, so I will go to Select Inverse. And if you notice now we have a dotted line all the way out here. It's the negative space around the car. When I press delete, bye-bye, all gone. If I was using the car alone, that would be sufficient. I'll press Command D. I did miss a little bit of something here that I could go back and fix. But for the sake of the video, I'm going to move forward and show that other option. If you want your animation to be a little bit more cohesive, what you might choose to do as a next step is create a new layer, which is this little plus icon in the bottom corner here. And then using the various drawing tools, I'll go with a pencil first. My colors are here. I can even use the eyedropper here. Shortcut is I on the keyboard. I can grab a color that isn't perfectly black, switch to my pencil or my brush, close bracket, the left bracket makes the brush smaller, open bracket makes it larger, and I can draw a pretty decent circle for a tire. I can draw a pretty decent circle for a tire, and I've got 2 tires. Go back to the eyedropper tool, grab a red for the color of the car, and for the brush begin to draw the body, the frame. If I want to go to smaller line thickness, I can do that for up here. I can figure out from the selection what I didn't have there and just come back and do it myself. And again, if I make this brush bigger, I can fill it in a lot faster. So for the sake of the tutorial, I'm not going to go into adding a lot of elements to this, but I just want you to see how as a process, this is going to be the way that you get your document set up and you start adding the individual components that are going to be a part of your animation.